I spoke with Andy Smith on December 27th, 2007.
That while I was a teaching assistant and then an adjunct, that my family qualified for food stamps. When we started, I was making between $500 and $600 a month as a stipend, and my wife was unemployed, or my partner at the time was unemployed, and we had a young preschool-age daughter. And truth be told, we did get help from our families, and even still, we had a hard time making ends meet. Our income was under $10,000 a year for the first several years that I was in academia. And I want to make it very clear that most of my peers who also came from middle-class backgrounds, they would not either A, take money from their families, or B, take money from the government. And so what they did was they worked full-time at what I like to call a MIC job. They worked in retail, they worked in the service industry, they worked in the restaurant business, they were bank tellers, they were food service workers, and they worked 40-plus hours a week, and they went to graduate school. Even more humiliating than the low wages that we earn as contingent faculty is the humiliation for those of us who are bagging groceries for our students and their parents when they come to the local grocery store. I even remember when I mentioned it to one of my colleagues at the institution where I was a teaching assistant, how dare you take money from the public coffers from people who really need it. You obviously have a middle-class background. You know, why don't you ask mom and dad for a handout? How dare you take this money when other people need it? So $16.50 a class for a 3-hour adjunct class. The maximum wage, and I want to make this very clear, my state Board of Regents system that I've been in for the entirety of my academic career as a public system, we have a maximum wage, not a minimum wage for our contingent faculty. Our maximum wage for a 3-credit-hour class is $2,100, and that policy, it's not a pay scale, it's actually a Board of Regents policy, has not changed in the entirety of the time I've been in the Tennessee system, for a decade. Moreover, there's no job security for the adjunct faculty member. It is a 1-semester contract, not a 1-year, not a 2-year, not a 3-year, not a renewable. It's a 1-semester contract. And we got our teaching assignments at the first institution I was at within 7 days of the semester beginning. Families, spouses, parents, siblings, public assistance, food stamps, and free medical insurance from the state, and joining the debtor nation. Like our country is in debt in hock to the world, many of us, ran up astronomical amounts of debt, and that led to personal bankruptcies, defaulting on loans, and things of this nature. Many people in our plight who depended on credit for a period of time ended up not being able to make good on those debts, or are permanently enslaved to their creditors. Because as a full-time tenure-track faculty in a public system in Tennessee, my starting salary at the instructor rank is $33,000 a year, and my wife is employed half-time on a stipend, and so our family income is below $50,000 a year. I think one of the things that is so frightening is that the conservative economic kind of critique of public services, whether it be roads, schools, health insurance, is that these public goods are not worth paying for. They're not worth our money, tax dollars or private dollars. Hi, my name is Andy Smith, and I was a contingent faculty member for 10 years of shame, shame, shame.